You know what drives me absolutely crazy about people? When their entire day depends on someone else's mood. Like seriously, why do we give others such power over our emotions? I used to be that person who'd wake up happy, then one grumpy text would ruin everything. My friend Sarah would walk into work, and if her boss seemed off, boom, her whole confidence shattered. But here's the twisted part. We actually choose to hand over our emotional remote control. Think about it. When someone's in a bad mood, does that actually change who you are? Friends, write in the comments where you're watching us from, and hit like if you want to discover the most unexpected truth. Last month, I watched my neighbor Mike completely transform his morning routine because of this revelation. His wife used to wake up cranky, and automatically, Mike would tiptoe around like he'd done something wrong. But then something clicked. Her bad mood wasn't his responsibility to fix or absorb. The dangerous trap we fall into is believing we're being empathetic when we're actually being codependent. Real empathy means understanding someone's emotions without drowning in them yourself. I learned this the hard way when my teenage daughter went through her moody phase. Every eye roll, every sarcastic comment would send me spiraling into self-doubt as a parent. Until my therapist asked me one simple question that changed everything completely. She said, "Would you let a stranger on the street decide what you wear today?" Of course not, right? So why let someone else's emotional weather forecast determine your sunshine? The breakthrough moment came when I realized emotions are contagious, but we can choose our immunity level. It's like being in a room full of people with the flu. You can take precautions. Start your day by setting your emotional thermostat before checking anyone else's temperature. I now spend 5 minutes every morning deciding how I want to feel, regardless of what happens. When my boss is stressed, I acknowledge it without absorbing it into my nervous system. Here's what shocked me most. People actually respect you more when you're emotionally independent. My relationships improved dramatically once I stopped being an emotional sponge, soaking up everyone's problems. Sarah, from my earlier story? She practiced this for 3 weeks and got promoted. Turns out, emotional stability makes you leadership material, not someone who needs constant reassurance. But let's address the elephant in the room. Isn't this just being selfish and uncaring? Actually, it's the opposite. You become more helpful when you're not drowning in emotional chaos. A lighthouse doesn't move toward ships in distress. It stays grounded and provides steady guidance. The practical steps start with recognizing when you're taking on someone else's emotional baggage. Ask yourself, is this feeling mine, or did I pick it up from someone else? Create what I call an emotional firewall. Acknowledge others' feelings without downloading them. Practice the phrase, "I understand you're frustrated, and I'm going to stay calm to help better." The most liberating realization is that other people's moods are temporary weather, not permanent climate change. Your emotional baseline should be like your body temperature, relatively stable regardless of external conditions. This doesn't mean becoming cold or disconnected. Quite the opposite, actually. When you're emotionally grounded, you can offer genuine support instead of adding to the drama. I've noticed that energy vampires actually avoid emotionally independent people because there's nothing to drain. The ripple effect is incredible. Your stability gives others permission to find their own emotional footing. My daughter now comes to me with problems because she knows I won't panic or match her anxiety. Instead of 2 people drowning in worry, she gets one stable person helping her navigate the situation. The ultimate test came during our family crisis when my father was hospitalized last year. Everyone was scattered emotionally, but my newfound stability became the anchor everyone needed, without me even trying. I could comfort my mother without absorbing her panic, support my siblings without taking on their guilt. The secret sauce is replacing emotional reactivity with intentional response. There's a huge difference between the two. Reactive people are like pinballs, bouncing off everyone else's emotional state constantly throughout their day. Responsive people are like skilled dancers, acknowledging the music while choosing their own movements gracefully. Start tomorrow with this simple practice. Decide your emotional intention before interacting with anyone else. Remember, you're not responsible for managing other people's feelings, but you're completely responsible for managing your own. The freedom you'll experience when you stop being everyone's emotional weather vane is absolutely life-changing and transformative.